Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. So I was actually done with this, but once again, I have to respond to this nonsense that's going on with this ambassador situation. I'm so tired of this. Anyways, so today I was doing Kabuto. As you guys know, Kabuto, Dynamax Kabuto's out, and Kabuto's a beast when he evolves. I love that. Love them hands, man. I love them claws, them scythes. Well, they're not claws, but they're scythes. Anyways, so I then, as I'm sitting there playing, I recorded my video beating it with a Zacian. It was a little bit more tankier than normal. I was a little surprised. Anyways, I then get a message about what a certain ambassador was saying today. So I'm going to read it, and I'm going to talk about it in detail with a little bit of backstory to why the situation is, not with me and them, but with the community in general. So it's in the announcements of Campfire. Like, when you have your Campfire group, you have an announcements section, blah, blah, blah. So here it is. Hey everyone, just a quick message as we continue to grow as a community. I want to take a moment to remind everyone that this space is built on respect, kindness, and shared love for the game. We have all kinds of players here, casual, hardcore, new, and returning, and we welcome everyone. That said, we do not tolerate harassment, bullying, or any behavior rooted in negativity or division, whether it's in person, online, or behind closed doors. If your intentions aren't aligned with supporting this community, this might not be the space for you. If you feel uncomfortable or encounter toxic behavior, you can report it directly to Niantic through the app. Reports are anonymous and taken seriously. Please remember, in-game rewards only activate when a CA is present, as required by Niantic. If we're unable to attend, rewards will be turned off. I always try my best to attend, but even when I'm not there, I encourage you all to still meet up, connect, and enjoy the experience. This CA role voluntarily, we're all, okay, let me read that again. This CA role voluntary, okay? We're all balancing real lives, jobs, commitments, and responsibilities. We appreciate those who show up for the community, not just for the rewards perks. With that said, we are looking for trusted, reliable admins to help support hosting and organizing. If you're passionate about inclusivity, my God, I can't talk. You ever drink some tea and then you try to talk after and you're like, like your tongue's all weird? Yes, I drink Red Rose and Tetley. Holla. All right. If you're passionate about inclusivity and uplifting others, we'd love to have you. DM me. That was terrible. But I'm not gonna redo that. If you see something off online or in real life, feel free to DM me privately. Let's move with intention and continue building something positive and work on keeping this a space where everyone feels safe, welcome, and uplifted. The real ones know what we're about. Now, of course, this gets a whole bunch of, smiley faces and all that. And it's pretty much like a heart, a salute emoji, the prayer one, 100, and it's all from the same people. Like, they're all doing different emojis. Anyways, so let me talk about what she said and how I'm going to deal with this. Number one, I was done with this shit. Seriously. I was done. I started moving on to why I was leaving my team. I was leaving Team Yellow, which I still am, but they fixed it today. They actually had reds in the area. So I was wondering, did they hear what I said? Anywho's, I don't think they did. But anyways, moving on. So now I had said I was done with this. I wasn't going to talk about this anymore. I figured after me and her had that little conversation and I was not going to budge and simp for her, that we were done. But clearly we are not done. I said what I said because I'm speaking the truth. Now, if you don't believe me, then that's cool. That's your choice. You don't have to believe what I'm saying. But I'm not going to sit here and lie to you to make up some bullshit stories for content. Now, mind you, I'm getting some good views on this and I'm proud of me speaking up. But I also get I get comments from people where they actually have the same issues and they're happy that someone is actually speaking up. Now, what I need to say about this whole thing is that when she's talking about harassment and all that other shit, I don't think the harassment was directed to me, but I do feel like the toxic sentence was directed to me because then she said online or in real life. Okay, first of all, Miss Thang, I'm gonna tell it to you like this. When you talk about in real life, that's not even me. Like real shit. Do you know how many people, when she's brought up, say fuck her? She's dumb. Like, even when that message was sent to me, all I got as a message was, she's an idiot. That's all I heard. That's what was read, that was sent to me. Like, I didn't hear it, I read it. But my point is, you don't have the backing you think you do, and you putting on this victim act isn't working. There are people that don't know any better, and they're agreeing. And there's probably, like, when she put that sentence about still join the community, right? Cool, even if there's no perks. But you're not see, this is what I mean by you don't understand the community. Let me give you a little story, okay? Months ago, and I always go back to this story because this is a perfect example of what I'm saying. Months ago, Brandon Tan came out here when he was doing that whole going to different places thing. And that was when I just started interviewing people in Pokemon Go, right? So I wanted to interview him, right? When I confronted him and I talked to him, I didn't confront him, but I went to talk to him, he was so mean. Like, I don't understand why he was so mean, but that's not the point here. I'm just telling you, he was not in the greatest mood, right? Okay. He was then looking for the meetup, the person that hosts the meetups, which was a dude named Jack the Ripper. That was literally his name, right? Nobody knew who he was. And as many times as Brandon Tan asked, who's Jack the Ripper? Who's hosting these meetups? Nobody knew. And let me tell you why. Nobody was using Campfire. There's people now in Mississauga, like in the community, that will not use it because they feel that our grind was fine already. Our community was fine. Like there was no need for it. And let me tell you that that's not actually wrong. When we would have these events, like when we would have Go Fest, there'd be like 500 people and people just hitting raids, people doing this, people doing that. There was like all these little groups, but production was high, right? You also had people that during raid hour, you had guys that would hit the raids. And like I said, production was high. There was no issues. The only issues that was going on was certain people that didn't know when to shut the fuck up. There were certain people that always had some negative shit to say. There was people that had an issue with other people because they were doing fuck shit, and then when people said you're doing fuck shit, they got mad. Like the guy jumping out of the bushes, right? That was a big deal. That guy's been doing that for years, to the point where people have left or sit in their cars and don't want nothing to do with dude because of that. This is what I'm saying. That's just one person, and that's one of Vibe's biggest supporters. So, you know, she came in out of the blue to an already, and the thing was, like, when Brandon Tan was here, he talked to me personally and said that the community is it's bad. Because here's the thing. There was a situation where we have one guy who actually left. He lives in Calgary now. He would always hit the raids fast and he'd catch the Pokemon fast. And you know, there's that other app where it'll show you what the IVs are on the Pokemon when you beat the raid, it'll just show you the IVs. I can't remember what it's called, but once they see that the damn thing wasn't a hundo, or they knew what the hundo was CP wise, they would just run and then go to the next raid. So while we were still catching, he was already at the next raid. He would then say, because we took so long, that's a skill issue. When that came up in conversation, because he wasn't at the Brandon Tan thing, Brandon Tan got mad and started to swear. And he's like, I don't fucking like that. You know, that's toxic to the community and blah, blah, blah. Like he literally started to swear at that shit. God is my witness. I will hold the Bible and I will tell you that's what he did. And I'm not saying he's wrong because he wasn't wrong, but this was how it was. But we were used to it because that dude, nobody cared what he said. You know what I'm saying? No one gave a shit what he said because it was just him as a person. That's how we knew him. So we didn't care. Like, you know, it was like, okay, yeah, skill issue. Go fuck yourself. That's really what you say to that, right? But Mr. Tan didn't like that shit. And he got a little bit weird about it, right? So anyways, I got the interview with him, which was great. But you could tell he hated it there. Like he did not like our group because our group didn't want outsiders coming in. That's really what the vibe was. Even when I came out there, like I wasn't there from the beginning. Even when I came up in there, it was like, yo, who's this Nufftingz person? You know, who is that? And then people came looking for me to see who I was. And then they saw that, yo, this guy is someone, you know, this guy is something. This guy is a somebody. You know, they're not saying shit to me, right? But then you had some guys that don't know their fucking place and they started to get lippy and you have to correct them. Jumping out of bushes, scaring children, scaring women, taking pictures of people's children, you know, going to people's workplace to fuck with them over Pokemon Go. These are situations that should not be happening. Number one, right? And I do get comments saying, oh, well, why would people allow this? You know, like the same thing I said when the guy ran after the dude that was in his car with his wife and because he didn't want him to knock out gyms. Like you're so like stuck to have the gyms in the one area all the same color and you just want your own people to get the coins. Like, but then when someone tries to attack, you are then like, oh no, we're not going to do that. You know, like we have a dude that lights campfires when someone attacks one of his gyms. Like, you know, not lights campfires. You know, in campfire, you light the flare to tell his homeboys to come save him. You know, like, it's things like that that's going on, right? Now, me and this girl, I have no issue with her. I'll be honest with you. I would love to work with her and do it for the community, right? I would talk to her like a normal person, but she's not talking to me like a normal person. Everything that comes out of her mouth is a goddamn lie because this girl never takes accountability for nothing, right? You took our name. You took our campfire name. You took our campfire location, right? And you're now mad because I bring this up. So I was supposed to keep this quiet? Like, you got ambassador, and that's great. I was the first to congratulate her. And then she heard that I was talking shit, which I wasn't. I hadn't even done a video on her yet. And wait, did I do a video on her? I think I might have. Anyways, nobody knew about my channel at that point, right? So she then bans me from the Campfire group, right? Any name that had Nufftingz in it was banned. Okay, cool. But that doesn't stop the rest of them from telling me shit. So you might as well ban the whole damn group. Like, because people are still going to tell me. Why are people telling me? You know, this was even before I started talking about it on thing where people were complaining. You know, and it's like, okay, you need to start taking accountability for what the fuck's going on. And this is the thing too, like I had gotten some messages and I want to read, I keep saying messages. I keep getting community comments on, I will say community responses, comments on some of my videos, right? And there's one person here that I want to sort of talk about a little bit because what they're saying made a lot of sense and it's what I was thinking. And I probably have said this if I hadn't, I was thinking it. So this is what the person said to me. Thanks for sharing your concerns about your CA. I'm sorry to hear you're experiencing challenges with her current performance. If there are issues regarding spoofing or unintentional manipulating GPS drift, that definitely goes against Niantic's TOS and should be addressed promptly. I totally agree. Normal GPS drift itself isn't against the rules, but deliberately turning off and on the GPS to use the green paths does violate the guidelines. Once again, I agree. Regarding meetup coordination, it's completely reasonable to organize additional meetups after hers. Encouraging community engagement through multiple events is beneficial, and ideally, she should support this rather than restrict it. Now, let's talk about that one. See, that's the one that we need to really get into. What this person is saying, because that video I had said that when I tried to host a Gimme Goal coin bag giveaway, she didn't like that. She was like, oh, I don't want any other meetups in my group and whatever, right? And I'm like, okay. That's why I then took over the other big group that had Jack the Ripper as the admin. Like, I literally got control of it from the head dude because he was like, yo, you need to do it. I'm like, all right, cool. Now, here's the thing. Concerning that, right? I wanted to do lure parties. I wanted to do the chat tot thing. I wanted to do things like that. I wanted to do giveaways and all that. She was not allowing it. She was blocking that. So why am I getting shit on? That's what I'm saying. Now, she could sit there and say, oh, no, I didn't do that. Yes, you did. Like, and that's why I wanted to be on camera, because I would ask her about things like that. Like, why are you holding back from people doing anything? You know what I'm saying? Now, when this, I don't know if it's a guy or a girl, but I'll just refer to them as a he, so it's easier for me. When they're saying stuff like, oh, she should be encouraging it, I totally agree. This is what I'm saying. Like, for instance, perfect example, GoFest and Dynamax, Latios and Latias. I hosted meetups. I'm not community ambassador, so there's no rewards when people check in. But I think I got about 30 people that checked in, or something like, or 29 or something like that. It was good, right? Got a good amount of check-ins, but no one got any rewards because these people want another ambassador, right? Now, with her, she had said, well, there's no meetups. In her group, she put, there's no meetups. So go to Brampton, go to Toronto, right? And it's like, okay, so you're telling people in Mississauga to leave Mississauga for big events to go elsewhere. What if these people don't drive? Right? What if they take the bus? What if they just don't want to leave? You know, there's so many things there, but you're telling people to leave the city that they play in to go to another place. Now, if you know anything about Canada, you know Brampton is a shithole. Nobody wants to go to Brampton. People don't even want to live there anymore. They want to leave. I mean, there's people that probably love living in Brampton, but you talk to 9 out of 10 people, they hate Brampton. Brampton's got the worst drivers in the world. Brampton is not a safe place. There's a lot of violence out in Brampton. And you're telling people to go there, to leave the comfort of their home to go to Brampton. Toronto, it's the big city. It's like New York. So, you know, it's the same thing. Like, you know, like these people don't even, some of them don't even know anywhere in Toronto. They don't know anywhere in Brampton. They don't know anywhere. Why would they just go randomly to some spot they don't know? And I know, oh yeah, they could learn about it, but what's the point of that? Why didn't you just say, join Nuffs? Or don't even say my name. It's like, there's another Campfire group. They're hosting meetups. Join, so it's easy for you to get a group and whatever, right? Just do that. But you don't want to do that. Now, I would actually, if I wasn't hosting an event, I would say, if me and her were on the same page, I would say, yo, go to her event. Go to her thing, because I'm not hosting this weekend, but go to the neighbor. You know what I'm saying? But we're not getting that same love. But then you're sitting here playing victim like the whole world's against you because I'm sitting here speaking on what you're not doing. And it's like, okay, now moving on. And I also understand what they're saying about having other groups for that reason, where you have another group as an alternative, because what if some people don't like you? Like, people aren't going to like me. So if they don't like me, they can go to her. If they don't like her, they can go to me. It's simple. If they don't like how she does things, then they could come to me. If they don't like how I do things, they can go to her. It's simple. You have more than one group. Now, okay, so this person went on to the use of multiple accounts or multiple phones is clearly against Niantic's terms of service and should be enforced. For the rule about children under 13, you're correct. Your frustrations are valid, particularly regarding inconsistent rule enforcement and restrictions on hosting meetups independently. Ideally, she should support and encourage community collaboration and possibly even share responsibilities with other players like yourself. Perhaps it would help to discuss these issues openly with her. If she's receptive, maybe you could even consider co-hosting meetups or applying to become a CA yourself, maybe even as her co-CA. Thanks again for highlighting these points. Your feedback helps foster a healthier community environment. I don't even know who that is, but they're really formal. So, like I said, I would work with her if she wasn't being annoying and making up excuses. Like, look, we have to look at the whole thing, like, properly. For a good 3 months, she didn't host one event. Like, there was like a good 3-month period where she didn't host anything. And then she came back and said, well, she got a new job, but she said that while she was in Jamaica, right? So she was on a trip and then she's like, oh, I got a new job. I just started, but you're in Jamaica and you're a streamer. Like, I get you have a job, but what are you doing in Jamaica? That was my whole thing. I'm like, if you just got a new job, how are you in Jamaica? I don't know. I've never known that you get a new job and you go on a trip right away. Or maybe she didn't start yet, but she said she started. I don't know. It seems like bullshit to me. But so this person then goes, yes, and as CA myself, we always helped other two groups in our area, asking their leaders if they are hosting a meetup and giving people options. Many indeed come to me and say, because you give free stuff, I come here instead. See, this is what I'm saying. People want free shit. So this whole narrative that she had where she's like, oh, well, you should still come to the community even if you don't get free stuff. Like, okay, but here's the thing though. What is there to do if there's nothing free? Like, there's no events going on. People are going to these things. There's no giveaways. You got this stuff from Niantic. Why don't you give it away? You gave away a couple things. Give away more. Even this person said to me that they buy things and spend on the community and give it away. And that's what he told me I should do. I would do that if I could actually get people to come together so I can do it. Like, I'm going to give away to my people, like 5 people. Like, I want to give away to other people. Like, I don't want to give away to a group of like 6 people, which is mostly me and my kids and shit. Like, what's the point of that? Because you have 2 groups that are against each other for what? It doesn't make any sense. I would give away stuff. Dude, I made shirts that I was going to give away. And I just said, yo, like, what's the point if people are going to sit here and go against me on shit? Like, I want to give away stuff. Like I said in the previous video, I want to give away Pokemon cards. I want to give away plushies. I want to give this stuff away. Like, it's literally coming out of my pocket. And I want to do it so that we can have some fun and people can actually do something. Like, this is what I'm talking about. We don't have that. You're an ambassador and you just host a meetup and you just sit there laughing. Hee! Like, you're not doing anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is too, from what I've noticed too, I don't even think anybody cares if you do anything. They just want their free shit and they want to play and they want to go home. That's what it seems like to me. The people that are out here, there's like maybe 7 out of 10 of them are die-hard players where they spend countless money. Like, they don't care about a free raid pass or a keychain or whatever. They just want their hundos and their shundos. Like, it's gotten to the point where these guys aren't even hunting hundos, they're hunting shundos. We had one guy that wants 6 shundo Rayquazas and he's gonna get that because he's gonna spend countless money to get Rayquazas. When we had GoFest, I swear to God, he did like 800 raids. Like, this is how bad these people are when it comes to the game. Like, they want to get stuff in game. They don't care about the rest of the stuff. They don't care about 300 particles, 500, 800 particles, because they already buy $200 of the particles each time there's a big event for Dynamax or Gigantamax. They don't care about that shit, right? Because even before we had this ambassador thing, I was trying to host giveaways and all that, but nobody cares. And that was what I was trying to say about this community itself. That's why Mr. Tan had so much issues too, because he was trying to give away stuff. Like, listen, if I showed you the picture of when Brandon Tan came, it was like 10 people. Nobody gave a fuck that he came. Like, seriously, like, those 10 people were the only people that cared. And here's the joke. Those, like, 10, 15 people, about 5 of them are from Brampton. They had came over here to see him, even though he was going to go to Brampton the next day. Like, nobody from Mississauga gave a shit that he was here. And this is what I'm trying to say. Nobody cared. Like, everyone was just like, oh, Brandon Tan, fuck him. Like, that was literally what they were saying. Nobody gave a fuck. We have one dude who, till now, hates on Brandon Tan, has nothing positive to ever say about him. He will just randomly start bad-mouthing Brandon Tan. And it's like, yo, Brandon Tan's not even a bad guy. He does his job. He goes to communities. And I think that's great. I would love to do that shit. But, like, this is what I mean about people just hating on people. Like, this is how it is out here. So, this is why I'm sitting here like, yo, why is Miss Thang, getting on my case about shit? It's like, how do you think I know what you're saying? Like, people are sending me this shit. Like, people are saying, yo, respond to this, bro, because this girl's fucking annoying. Like, that's literally what I'm getting as messages. It's like, okay. And, this is what I mean about, if she wanted to talk and have a good conversation, she could have came up to me and talked to me. It's like every response that I get from her is like a Chat GPT response. Like, there's nothing behind it. There's just a whole bunch of, well, I don't like you're doing this, so you need to stop type of thing. But it's like she's never once said, yo, let's work together. I think I might have said it to her before, but I don't remember because I'd have to look at the old messages between me and her. But, I still feel like, yo, if you heard that I was talking shit, instead of you banning me from the group, you should have just asked me. And I would have been like, yo, I didn't say that. I would have been like, yo, whatever I said it on camera. I said it with my mic. Like, I didn't say it to these people because I don't fucking care. Like, you're not on my mind 24/7. The only time I respond is when I get these stupid ass, messages from people that say, oh yeah, well, this is what Vibey said. It's like, okay, I don't care. Now, going on to what you said about the harassment, ain't nobody harassing anybody. Like, if you go to this shit and you see it, people are just standing there playing. No one's harassing, no one's bullying, no one's doing anything like that. If that's happening, that's in your group, because I've never once seen anybody get harassed or bullied. I do see the skill issue comments, but is that really harassing or bullying? You know what I'm saying? Like, sometimes you might get a little remark where it's like, oh, I can't believe you got the shundo or some shit like that. But isn't that normal behavior with everybody, where everyone just hates on someone for getting a shundo? But like I said, there's no harassment, there's no bullying. The joke is you talk about rules and terms of service rules, but majority of the people breaking the rules are in your group. So why don't you squeal on them? Like, tell on them. Be like, well, Niantic, this is what's happening. There's people that have a cardboard box with 3 phones on it. Like, then be a tattletale and tell Niantic that you have people in your community not following the rules. But here's the thing. You don't care as long as they're your people. But if someone else does it, you're going to be on it, right? I don't get it. Like, the person I'm talking about that actually did what I just said with the cardboard box is one of her homies. Real shit. It's one of her homies. And it's like, girl, do you even know that your homies are the ones breaking the rule? So why don't you tell them to stop? You know, it's the same thing with not the spoofing, with the oh my god, the scanning. She's doing it too. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're literally scanning also to get hundos. You know, and even like these whole meetups of like Kabuto today, I saw the message where she was like, "Oh, this is the this is just an event for you to do it on your own. We're not in any groups or anything." And I'm like, "But isn't that the point? Like, aren't you supposed to have your little group and you guys go and hit the gym, hit the the power spots as fast as you can?" Like, isn't that the whole thing? Like, I did one by myself solo today for a video, but when I did it with 4 people, we run through Kabuto fast. Like, I know Kabuto's a 1 star, but I feel it's fun when you just hit with 4 people and just get it out the way and then move on to the next one. So I don't understand how it's at your leisure. It's same thing with community days. You just tell everybody it's walking style, so you go on your own. Literally, and like, I'll go on community days and I'll see people by themselves walking. Like, you're not telling me you couldn't get the group together and say, "Hey guys, let's do like a little route around." Like, what you could have done is pick a route at Square One at City Hall and tell everybody, "Let's do this route." And while everybody's walking, they're having fun, they're catching, "Oh, look, a shiny," things like that. But you make everybody go by themselves. You tell everybody, "Well, let's all go by ourselves, walking style, guys," and then you leave. So it's like, what ambassador does that? Like, I would assume that you would have a group, you'd do a couple routes together, you give away stuff at the end. Like, you do like a competition. Who got the most hundos? Who got the most shinies? Who got the most Pokemon caught all together? Over those 3 hours, you do stuff like that and you do giveaways. That's what I would have done. So I don't understand what the fuck. Like, it's like, okay, so you don't do any of that because you don't give a fuck shit. Like, you don't care. So I'm the bad person. And this is what I don't understand. It's a constant issue where you don't do anything, but then you want people to kiss your butt and be like, "Oh, you're so amazing." Give me ambassador for 1 month, and I guarantee they won't remember her name. Real shit. Because I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm literally trying to strengthen the community. Now, mind you, there are those ones that don't like me because they try to fuck with me and they didn't like the response they got. Let's don't fuck with me. It's straight up. Like, I got a comment earlier where someone was like, "Dude, taking pictures of kids. I'm glad you checked them." You damn right I checked him, bro. Like, you can't do shit like that. Like, this is shit that puts your ass in jail. But it's okay. Like, how come in that little announcement she never said anything about that or bring up the gym meta where nobody can go into the gyms? It's all controlled by a whole bunch of spoofers and shit that are in the area. They're literally in the area spoofing. It's so weird. How come you don't talk about that? Try to kill that gym meta so that people can actually get coins and not have to go elsewhere to get coins. How come we don't get rid of that shit? Or at least try. I'm not saying you can get rid of it, but at least try. At least say, "Yo, guys, come on. Come on, there's kids playing. Let them get some stuff, man. Come on. Come on. Come on, guys." Like, how come we don't get that? We don't get that energy, but you have the energy to fight with me and play the victim and pretend like, "Oh, we want to strengthen our community." Then strengthen the fucking community. Tell the people that are weakening it to shut the fuck up. You're telling me to shut the fuck up when I'm telling the truth. I'm broadcasting what you're not doing. You know what I'm saying? You aren't doing stuff. You didn't come to Go Fest. We get it. You have a life. So do I. So does everybody else on the motherfucking planet. But that doesn't change the fact that you weren't hosting for 3 months. You didn't come for Go Fest. You didn't come for fucking Dynamax Latios or Latias. And then you're telling people to go elsewhere. "Hey guys, I can't host. Go over here." Yet there's a meetup right there. Like, you're against me, which means that I have to be against you. I'm only telling the truth. If you did shit properly, there would be nothing I could say. I would not be able to say anything because you would be doing the shit properly. Like, why don't you come up to me or anybody else and ask for advice? Be like, yo, what do I do? You know, you're not asking anybody anything. This is what I'm saying, even with like before. When she started, everybody liked her energy, right? Because she has a lot of it. Jack said, yo, you want to take over this group? She said, no, I don't want to do it. I want to do it myself. Cool. But now it's like, you're not doing anything. So what? We're all supposed to sit here and be happy? Like, you don't want an alternative. You want to be the only one. So what happens when you decide you don't want to play this game anymore? Now, here's the thing. If people want to report me, they fucking can. Let me tell you why. If you check my other accounts and you check me as a person, I am a gamer. I literally have thousands of games that I can play, right? I have so many systems. I am a gamer since 4 years old. I've never not been a gamer. Actually, no, at one point I stopped because my kids were born. So for the first couple years, like 4 or 5 years, I just watched Netflix. I didn't game at all when they were small. But I've always been a gamer before and after. Now I'm a gamer. You know, I used to pull the all-nighters. Like, I'll tell you something funny. Do you guys remember Baldur's Gate Dark Alliance? When it first came out when I was younger, well, not when it first came out, I had went to GameStop, which was EB Games back then, right? And I got Baldur's Gate 1, and I played the shit out of it. So I lent it to my friend, and he loved it. Oh my God, he loved it, and he beat the game. And then he got Baldur's Gate 2. So then he said, hey man, you should get it also. It's good. I'm at, I think it was Act 2 or something like that. He was halfway through the game. And I was like, yo, I'm going to beat that before you. He goes, how, bro? I'm halfway through. You know what my dumbass did? And this is my younger years. Couldn't do that now, man. I'd have a stroke. I sat there and played the game for like 31 straight hours just to beat it before him. So I called him like 2 days later and I'm like, yo, I beat it. He goes, no, you didn't. And I showed him. He goes, dude, you're such a loser. I was like, hey, man, you want to have a competition? Let's go. Dude, I played that game for so long. I think I had one meal and I'm diabetic. So can you imagine? You know, I was just sitting there eating sugar and shit. Like, dude, it was glorious purpose. Like, I had so much fun doing shit like that. Now I can't do any of that. I would literally die the next morning because I would just be ugh. But back in those days, man, that was peak. That was peak living. But you know, whatever, right? Anywho, that was my whole thing with this bullshit. I don't want to do any more of these. I want to talk about other things that are more important than this nonsense. But if you were here to the end, I thank you. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on the whole thing. Let me know if you have any advice and all that good shit. There was more comments, but you know what? Check them yourself if you have a moment. Just check them. You know, like, you might see some shit that you might agree with or you might disagree with. But it's all good, man. Speak your mind and I'll respond. Anyways, I'll see you in the next video.